What's up, guys? Welcome to Bipolar Boxing. Let's do a breakdown for Naoya Inoue versus Junto Nakatani. This is going on Saturday. It'll be early here in the States. I did not check what time this is going to start, but hopefully it's around like 7 o'clock or something like that. The main event goes off because I don't want to wake up too early. It's going to be a late night of fights. It's going to be a busy Saturday. We got that whole card, and then you got the Kona Walker versus Sam Eggington card. I'm excited for that fight actually. I like Kona Walker in that fight, by the way. But and then you got Benavidez Zerto at the end of the day, and you also got like I'm a big MMA guy too, so I'll be betting all the UFC fights as well. But yeah, this is the best one of the best fights you can get in this lower weight class here, and these two guys being from the same country, from Japan, they're huge stars out there, especially Inoue. I had to bust out the shirt for the Inoue for Inoue's fight. This is the shirt from his last fight he had in Vegas. But yeah, they're both stars and they're both very exciting styles. Anytime two of these top guys get together in these lower weight classes, it usually ends up being a firefight. Go back to Inoue Donaire, like just that weight class provides a lot of exciting fights because smaller weight classes, not too many knockouts down there. Even though both these guys are pretty much knockout artists, the styles of fights is just kind of come forward. There's not a lot of boxing on the back foot and trying to outpoint your opponent at this weight class, and that's good for the fans. Some purists like me actually like two guys like playing chess there in the ring. But for everybody else, this is an amazing fight. This is as good as it gets. The odds for this fight that I'm seeing are Inoue's anywhere from -350 to -400. I'm back on Inoue is I think it's like plus like 225 or something like that. But this is a solid fight, and this is probably Inoue's biggest test of his career, minus that first Nonito Donaire fight, and it might even be more dangerous than that. We just don't know about Nakatani. Just because I think like he's proven himself against whoever, but like he doesn't have the resume that Inoue has. But I'm not that much of a resume guy because I'm a firm believer that um, fighters have a certain strategy to beat every fighter they face, and every strategy is going to be different for every single fight. So sometimes when a guy like Nakatani goes out there and he doesn't fight that well against who was his last fight was it like Hernandez or something like that. He didn't look that good, but hey, look good today or win today, look good tomorrow, type of deal. Just because he looked like crap against Hernandez doesn't mean that he can't beat Inoue. It's just a styles thing. And these styles are gonna clash. Both these guys like to come forward and they're both kind of sluggers. And there's not a lot of like I don't want to say boxing technique because they're both great boxers. It's just what you're seeing in there, it kind of looks like they're just going to clash and kind of slug it out. And it's all about who you think's going to get the better of the slugfest because I don't see if you're picking like Nakatani to win, like I don't see anybody running around saying like, well, he's gonna, establish the jab, work off the back foot, stay away from Inoue's power, stuff. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna be forced at some point in the fight to get into a firefight. And but it's just like it's Inoue, guys. Like I do this prediction channel, but I also like bet on all these fights. Like I'm not throwing my money against Inoue again, I'll say, because the worst prediction I ever made on this friggin' page was my my Inoue versus Stephen Fulton prediction, where I picked Stephen Fulton to outbox Inoue and just stick and move the whole fight or whatever. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but you can go back and watch my video and watch me make an idiot of myself. But I did make a video afterwards to kind of shit on myself. But that's the style that I believe can beat Inoue. Somebody who can stick and move on the outside, who's got great footwork. A guy like Bam Rodriguez. somebody like that. That's the style I see to be Inoue. Nakatani doesn't have that style. The only path to victory I see for Nakatani is a knockout, and I think it's going to have to come. I think it's going to have to come early, unless this is an all-out slugfest with a lot of close rounds, and maybe Inoue can win a decision or whatever. But like the two things that I see happening, like for the most part, like Occam's razor, is Inoue by decision and Inoue by knockout before, you know, Nakatani by decision or Nakatani knockout. It's just the way I see the fight. Like, I'm not going to sit here and I'm just not picking a guy like Inoue. Like, Inoue, in my opinion, is like a generational talent. Nakatani could be that too. But until Inoue shows me that, like, he's not like he's decline. He's people are a lot of people are saying he's declining. Like I don't see it that much, but it's freaking Inoue, guys, and he's undefeated. Like I just don't overthink it. Don't sit there and same thing like my prediction for the Benavides video. Like don't sit there and be like, "Wow, man, there's good value on this guy," because I'm telling you, like 3 years down the road or something like that, you're gonna be looking just like I'm looking at myself after the Stephen Fulton pick because I thought there was good value on it. But it's gonna be like, "What the hell were you doing betting against Inoue? Why didn't you just bet him his whole career?" There's certain fighters out there that I will not bet against them until they lose, and I've been doing that for 20, 25 years, and I've picked some very good fighters, like, especially guys like Floyd Mayweather. I bet him every single fight since I believe it was the Gennaro Hernandez, I think it was, fight. Like, I bet him every single fight for the whole rest of his career, and the guy went 50-0, whatever the hell you want to call his record. Terrence Crawford, like, I'm not betting against that guy when it came to him and Errol Spence. That might be kind of how I view this fight. Maybe like a Crawford versus Spence fight. Not to say that it's going to be a landslide like that, but do you remember how like close? Even the odds were close. The odds for that fight were like Crawford minus 130 or some shit like that. Like, and I remember saying to myself, like, and I was a Spence fan at the time, but I'm like, I don't want to look at myself 3 years from now when frickin' Crawford retires undefeated and goes down as an all time great and be like, oh, I picked that Errol Spence guy to beat him. And then 10 years down the road, people are going to be like, who the hell's Errol Spence? Why the hell did you pick him to beat Terrence Crawford? So that's how I kind of think about this fight. Like I bet on these fights. I'm putting my money on it. I'm not putting my money against Inoue. You know, I love Nakatani. I've been betting him his whole career too, but that's another thing. Like I'll pick a guy like Nakatani and I will bet him against anybody besides Inoue or Bam Rodriguez or Bruce Carrington or something like that. But, like, if it's not one of those guys, I'm betting Nakatani. But you know what? He is fighting one of those guys, and I'm just not betting against Inoue. I just think Inoue's pressure is going to be too much. The one flaw I see in Nakatani is just watching film on him. He seems like his punches are very, very wide. And with a guy like Inoue, he's got short arms and will be inside. He doesn't really have to work his way in. He's gonna be there. But, he's gonna get inside and I believe smother Nakatani's power, and I don't know that Nakatani's gonna be able to step back and land a clean counter shot or anything like that. And even if he does, we've all seen Inoue get knocked down, get back up, and not even change his style. So, that's the way I see this fight going is just Inoue just over voluming him and just the aggression and everything. I don't think there's gonna be a way the judges can score it for Nakatani. It might turn into a little bit of a slugfest, but I just think Inoue is gonna get the better of a lot of the exchanges in there. And I think Inoue's got probably a little bit more power than Nakatani. So yeah, it's just like a paths to victory thing, and I gotta go with Inoue here. But let me know who you guys think's gonna win, and let me know who you think because there's a lot of talk about Bam Rodriguez. To be honest, I don't see that fight happening. I see if anything, I see Inoue moving up because poor Bam Rodriguez, like he's gonna have to keep moving up in weight to find big fights. It's very similar to I know Lomachenko. Lomachenko was not a 135 pounder. And what happened when he came up to 135? Like he started losing fights. Oh, Lomachenko to me is still an all-time great. He's one of the best fighters I've seen with my eyes in, the 40 years that I've been watching boxing. But it's just like he was fighting outside of his weight class and he was chasing greatness. And, like I've picked all of Lomachenko's fights correctly. Like I picked Devin Haney against him because Devin Haney's so fucking big and he's got a great jab. But like pound for pound, I don't know that Haney's a better fighter than Lomachenko. It's just Lomachenko, guys like that. I'm just worried for Bam. I'm not saying he can't do it, but that poor guy's going to have to keep moving up in weight to get big fights. And I think Inoue might be too much for him, but I can definitely see Bam um, outboxing him. But I don't see that fight happening. The fight I see for Inoue next is Bruce Shushu Carrington. And that's the fight that I want to see because I believe this is only my opinion, but I believe Shushu Carrington's the best featherweight in the world. And I think I think Bruce Carrington will beat Inoue when they fight. And I'll come on here and make my prediction, and you can feel free to hammer me in the comments about that. But I think Bruce Shushu Carrington's the only guy in the world that can beat Inoue. And if they, when I say I think he's going to win, I say if the odds are 50-50, if the odds are minus 110, at Chushu Carrington in that fight, and Inoue will be at least a 2-1 favorite in that fight. But I think Chushu Carrington can beat him. Now, if Nakatani wins here, they might make Bam versus Nakatani, and then that would be a great fight. Maybe I'd pick Bam to win that. But I just I don't want to see Bam. He's a younger kid too. Like I don't want to see him um get that loss, even though it's going to be against a guy like Inoue if he comes up. But like, I think if he comes up, I think he could beat Nakatani. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and like I said, let me know who you guys think the winner should face next. Or hey, how about if it's a slugfest and we get like a 7-5 decision and then we just run it back? Like that, to be honest, that's what I'd like to see as a fan because I don't see this fight. It has to be entertaining, just the way that Japanese fighters fight, the way these two guys fight. They're both knockout artists. It's very rare in that weight class. But it's gonna be an awesome day of fights and guys enjoy it and have a good night.